80. I've learned so many things about life. I've lived through my youthful years full of dreams, the busy middle years of work and family, and now, in old age, I carry countless reflections. But there is one decision in my life that still pains me even now. One decision I deeply regret. That was the decision to move into a nursing home. Back then, my family and I believed it was the right choice. I would be cared for, kept safe, and live more comfortably in my final years. But once I stepped into that reality, I quickly realized there were things no one had ever warned me about. And those things changed the rest of my life completely. Today, I want to share with you, especially if you or your parents are considering a nursing home, the 6 biggest regrets I wish someone had told me beforehand. I hope that by the end of this story, you'll have enough clarity and perspective to make the right decision for yourself or your loved ones. Regret 1. Losing freedom and independence. At home, I chose when to wake up. If I couldn't sleep at night, I could have breakfast later. I could walk into the garden, sit in my familiar wooden chair, and make myself a hot cup of tea. But in the nursing home, everything changed. Every activity followed a rigid schedule. Breakfast at 7, lunch at 11, dinner at 5. Lights out at 9 whether I was ready or not. Want to step outside for a walk? I had to ask for permission. Want to eat something different? Not possible. Sometimes, even choosing my own clothes felt like a luxury. You know, the feeling of losing control, even over the smallest decisions, it hurts more than physical pain. I remember one morning waking up in an unfamiliar bed, reaching for the book I had left half-read back at home. But then it hit me, nothing around me was mine anymore. No books, no favorite chair, just cold, sterile walls. And I realized I was no longer the master of my own life. If you're considering a nursing home, ask yourself, are you truly ready to give up freedom, the very thing you've cherished all your life, for the sake of convenience? Regret 2. The feeling of being forgotten. In the beginning, my family visited often. My daughter came every week and my grandchildren filled the weekends with their laughter. My heart was warm and I thought, maybe I'll be fine. But as time passed, the visits grew fewer. My daughter got busier with work. My grandchildren were tied up with school and their own lives. They began to call instead of coming by. Holidays were the hardest. Everyone promised to visit, but plans always seemed to change at the last minute. And so, I found myself sitting in the common room, staring at the door, hoping for familiar faces that never appeared. Around me, other residents waited the same way, eyes lighting up every time the door opened, only to dim again when it wasn't their family. It's not that my family stopped loving me. But when you're no longer present in their daily lives, it becomes so easy for them to assume you're fine. To forget that you still need them. Out of sight, out of mind. And that cold loneliness is something I can't even fully describe. Regret 3. Losing a sense of purpose. At home, every day had meaning. I watered the plants, cooked my meals, kept the house tidy. Even the smallest tasks reminded me I was still useful. But in the nursing home, everything was done for me. Meals were cooked, rooms were cleaned, I had no responsibilities left. At first, I thought it would be wonderful. No more chores, no more worries. But within weeks, I realized it was those little things that kept me alive inside. Without them, the days stretched endlessly, empty and gray. I remember my friend George, a lifelong carpenter. At home, he was always building, fixing, creating. But here, no tools, no projects. His strong, skilled hands became idle. One day, he looked at me and said, "I feel useless." And in that moment, I understood. Losing your sense of purpose hurts even more than losing your health. Regret 4. Declining health faster than expected. Before moving in, I could still manage. I shopped, cooked, did light exercise. I wasn't strong like I once was, but I could take care of myself. But once inside the nursing home, life became too easy. Meals were delivered. Help was just a button away. And slowly I stopped moving as much. Within months, my legs grew weak. My muscles softened. Sitting too long made me reluctant to stand. From walking normally, I shifted to a cane, then a walker, and eventually, a wheelchair. I wasn't the only one. I saw the same decline in others. One lively woman who walked daily at first. Within half a year, she looked 10 years older. You see, the human body is like a machine. Stop using it and it breaks down fast. And in a nursing home where everything is done for you, your body begins to fail, faster than you'd ever expect. Regret 5. Losing privacy and dignity. At home, I had my own space. I could close my door and be alone. In the nursing home, that was nearly impossible. Staff walked in and out. Sometimes they didn't even wait for my answer before entering. Personal things, like bathing, dressing, even using the restroom, required help. I knew they were just doing their job, but for someone who'd lived independently all their life, it was hard to accept. And then the issue of roommates. I was lucky with mine, but many weren't. Some had to share with people who were noisy, unclean, or suffering from dementia. Imagine losing the privacy you protected your whole life, in an instant. Dignity, that invisible but precious part of being human, becomes so fragile here. Regret 6. Harder to leave than you think. When I first moved in, I told myself, if I don't like it, I'll just go home. But leaving wasn't that simple. My house sat empty. My children had already sold or cleared away many things. Some even considered renting it out. When I said I wanted to return, they hesitated. Are you sure? Can you manage alone? Isn't it safer here? And after months in the nursing home, my health had declined. I wasn't as strong or confident anymore. Fear kept me stuck. I saw others go through the same. They thought it was temporary. But the longer they stayed, the harder it was to leave. Homes were sold, finances drained, health faded. And before long, they were trapped forever. That's the truth no one tells you. Moving in is easy. Getting out is nearly impossible. I don't regret growing old. Aging is part of life, something we all must face. But I regret choosing the nursing home too soon without exploring other options. Options that might have allowed me to stay in my own home, keep my freedom, my privacy, and my sense of purpose. Nursing homes aren't always bad. For some, they are the only option. But please, think carefully. Don't just choose what's easiest. Choose what's truly best. Because the greatest treasures we must hold on to are not comfort or convenience. They are freedom, routine, and dignity. If I could do it again, I'd fight harder to remain at home. I'd hire help, ask my children for support, anything but surrender my independence so soon. My friend, if you are considering this decision, I hope my story helps you. Discuss it with your family. Think it through. Because this one choice could shape the rest of your life. Thank you for listening. If you found this video helpful, please share it with others who might need to hear it. And leave a comment below. Tell me which part of my story touched you the most. Your words encourage us to keep creating content that informs and inspires. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.